boys and girls, and teachers too. My name is Mrs. Malcolm, Avery's granny, and I'm from the beautiful island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today, I'm going to share with you a story that our grandparents who came from Africa told us. The story is entitled Anansi and the Turtle. Yes, Anansi and the Turtle. And this writer is unknown. One day, Anansi the spider picked some very fat and tasty yams from his garden. He baked them with much care and they came out smelling quite delicious. He could not wait to sit and eat them. Just then, there was a knock at his door. It was Turtle, who had been traveling all day and was very tired and hungry. "Hello, Anansi," said Turtle. "I have been walking for so long and I smell the most delicious yams I've ever smelled. Would you be so kind as to share your meal with me?" And Nancy could not refuse, as it was a custom in his country to share your meal with visitors at mealtime. But he was not very happy, for Anansi was a little too greedy and wanted the delicious yams all to himself. So Anansi thought to himself and came up with a plan, a scheme.
"Please do come in, Turtle. I would be honored to have you as my guest this evening. Sit down, have a chair, and help yourself."
Turtle came inside and sat down. But just as he reached for a yam, Anansi yelled,
"Turtle, don't you know better than to come to the table with dirty hands?"
Turtle came inside and sat down. He looked at his hands and saw that they were filthy. He had been crawling all the day and had not had a chance to clean up. Turtle got up and went to the river to clean his feet. He walked all the way back up to the house and Anansi had already begun to eat.
"I didn't want those tasty yams to get cold, so I had to begin,"
said Anansi.
"But please do join me now, Turtle."
Turtle sat down again and reached for a yam, but again Anansi yelled at him, "Turtle, did you not hear me before? It is not polite to come to the table with dirty hands." Oh, poor Turtle. He looked down and saw that his clean hands had turned dirty once more. See, he had to crawl on the floor. So he walked down to the river once more to wash himself off. And when he returned this time, he was careful to walk on the grass so his hands would stay clean. But by the time he sat down at the table, Anansi had finished up the last bit of the tasty yams and not so much as a morsel was left. Ah, boys and girls, Anansi was a greedy one. Turtle looked at Anansi for a moment and then said, Turtle looked at Anansi for a moment and then said, "Thank you for sharing your meal with me. If you ever find yourself near my house, please let me return the favor." And then he slowly walked out of the door and continued on his way. The days went by And Anansi thought more and more of that meal that Turtle had offered. He got more and more interested in the free dinner and finally could stand it no longer. He set off one day to find the turtle's house. He found Turtle sunning himself on the riverbank just around dinner time. Turtle looked up and saw him and said, "Hello, Anansi. Have you come to share evening meal with me?" "Oh, yes, yes," said Anansi, who was growing hungrier and hungrier by the minute. Turtle went underwater to his house to set up the dinner table for the two of them. Soon he came back to the bank and said, "Your place is waiting and the food is ready. Please join me, Anansi." And then he dived underwater and began to slowly eat his meal. Anansi, he jumped in the water too, but he was so light that he could not get down to the bottom of the river. He tried to swim down, but he could not. He kept popping back up to the surface. He tried diving. He tried belly flaps. He tried running jump, but nothing could help him get down to the river bottom. In the meantime, Turtle was slowly eating his meal. Anansi was not about to give up a free meal and was running around wondering what he would do. Finally, he had an idea. He started grabbing stones and rocks, and he stuffed them into his jacket pockets. Now, when he jumped into the water, what do you think happened, boys and girls? That's right. He sank right down to the bottom and he was able to take the place at the table. The table was so beautiful and full of delicious food. And Nancy could hardly believe how many tasty foods were before him and could hardly wait to start his meal. But just as he was about to reach for the first bit of food, Turtle stopped and spoke. "In my country, we do not wear jackets to the table." And Nancy noticed that Turtle had removed his own jacket before sitting down. And Nancy started to remove his jacket. And as soon as it was off his shoulders, he went zooming back up to the surface and popped out into the riverbank. He stuck his head down into the water and saw Turtle enjoying that wonderful banquet. What's the moral of the story, boys and girls? Oh yes, the lesson that you should learn is when you try to outsmart someone, you will find that you are the one who is being outsmarted. And the story ends, and the wire bends, and I write my name with a fountain pen. Bye-bye, boys and girls and teachers too. Have a wonderful day, and God bless you.